Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na bunge za kaunti kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki za wanadamu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za kaunti na Jamhuri ya Kenya. Twakuomba ututeremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa na utujalie utuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya kaunti hii yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amina. Orders of the business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, papers.
Honorable Rael. Honorable member, you are not speaking on the answer.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me this time. I stand to table the county annual development plan, and I give.
Honorable members, I acknowledge the tabling of the County Annual Development Plan, CADP, for the financial year 2020, dated August 2019, from the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. The same is therefore committed to the Finance Committee. Next order.
Inquiry. Inquiry point.
Yes, Honorable Gideon.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to inquire pursuant to your direction that you have just given. Is it to the Finance Committee or the Budget and Appropriation Committee?
Honorable Gideon, it is the Finance Committee because it's an economic document. Doesn't deal with the budget estimates per se. That is the reason why you divided the two committees, Finance and Budget and Appropriation. So on this one, the lead will be the Finance Committee. But as per the practice, they have been coordinating the two of them. But the lead committee will be the Finance Committee. Next order. Next order.
Order number 5, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, Nandi County Health Services Bill 2019, first reading.
Next order.
Order number 9, Nandi County Immunization Bill 2019, first reading.
Next order.
Order number 10, Nandi County Universal Healthcare and Wellness Fund Bill 2019, first reading.
Honorable members, the three bills, Nandi County Health Service Bill, Nandi County Immunization Bill, and the Nandi County Universal Healthcare and Wellness Fund Bill are therefore committed to the relevant the House Health Committee. Secondly, I also wish to clarify the issue about the ADP. I think, as I had said, it will be a joint exercise by both the budget and the finance, because we've noted that the budget cycle, which begins in September, at the end of it all, most of it will be executed by the budget committee. So you cannot exclude them. So it will be jointly undertaken by the two committees. Next, Honorable Fred.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuuliza, nimeona hoja mingi imekuja, lakini tulikuwa tunauliza ile ya punguza mzigo itakuja siku gani?
Honorable Fred, did we table the punguza mzigo bill here? Secondly, it will come in form of a motion. So the only thing remaining is a form of public participation, which we propose to be done in a town hall setup, and then we come discuss it in form of a motion and have it adopted. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 11, motion.
Honorable Gideon Koech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. I rise to move a motion on mapping and painting guidelines in our urban centers. I move that aware that Nandi County has unique features which identifies it, including and not limited to culture, athletics, environment. Further aware that the county has urban centers which are growing at a high rate, noting that the urban centers needs to resonate with the identity of the people of Nandi and the wonderful environment. Considering that painting of buildings in urban centers have to reflect the uniqueness and identity of county, so as to aim at presenting a colorful painted county which in some ways resembles the world we live in, and to promote the growth of tourism as well. This house therefore resolved that the county executive map and ensure painting guidelines be observed by town building owners, and in order to have identity in our towns consistent with urban building, look and presentation that shall portray diversity and nature in the county. Mr. Speaker, this motion is informed by the fact that we know we have unique features within our county. We have even the culture that we solely identify with as the people of Nandi. We have a way that they are residential and such like things. This motion is informed by the fact that we need to portray and present these towns in the features that resembles or actually portray the nature of the surrounding. Mr. Speaker, the other day we were just from Mombasa. We've seen Mombasa town, for instance. The painting in that town is white and blue. And this is not in any way will in any way cause the public or the private sector to incur any other cost. These are features these are things they do normally on a yearly basis. We have seen circulars being issued that you are required to do a facelift of the buildings within the town setup. I am by presenting this motion, I wish that his house accept and agree with me that the county executive, particularly the department in charge of, I think, administration, should come up with guidelines to be able to map and say, for instance, Kapsabet, these are the kind of colors we would want to associate with here in Kapsabet, so that anybody that just sets foot for the first time in Kapsabet will be greeted with a very unique nature of presentation here in Kapsabet. Nandi Hills, we have Mosoriots that has been actually presented as kind of the industrial hub. We have several industries. We have even the textile unit in that particular place and the rest of the things. Nandi Hills, for instance, we have tea. Can we have colors that resonate with the nature of that particular city? Nandi Hills also is known for the issue of Koitalel. There is some culture attached to it. Can we have some features that will identify Nandi Hills as a place where we can actually also tap into the issues of tourism? So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to urge the Honorable House to agree with me and adopt this motion that will set the ball rolling for the Department of Administration and the rest of the executive to come up with very clear mapping and a way in which we can preserve these kind of things that we all dear in Nandi, the culture, the environment we live in, even the issues of athletics. Because in doing so, we'll also be, in a nutshell, attracting tourism, and that will probably lead to an increase to our revenue in terms of the way we would have portrayed our town. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and call upon the Honorable Member Ticharono from Lesos to second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, therefore propose the question on the mapping and painting guidelines motion as tabled and moved by Honorable Gideon Koech. The same is up for discussion. Honorable Fred.
Hoja habari, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Fred.
Ningependa kupata habari kuhusu hii mswada Mheshimiwa amesoma. Nini itaonesha sasa kama ni mswada ama ni barua, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu hakuna kipengele yote imetajwa, Mheshimiwa Spika.
We need information. We have information.
Honorable Gideon, before I respond, you wanted to? Okay, proceed.
So, Speaker, you know, Honorable Fred is using his experience in this house to try and make sure some of us. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to inform him that even we just came from a training that was, in fact, a product of the municipality here in Kapsabet, which is squarely under Urban and Cities Act. That gives rise to the management of towns, urban centers, and the rest. So I think, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Fred should be in, I think by virtue of this kind of insistence he has done severally, should be in the house business, so that upon approval of the motions, he can from that point give us the green light from that end. Otherwise, I want to say that
urban and the nature. Now, if you look at the motion, as tabled and moved by Honorable Gideon, I don't see any form of contravention or to our standing orders.
Pia Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa pia kupata habari kwako Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu unajua unaelewa hii maneno ya sheria. Kuna sheria ya Kenya mzima alafu kuna sheria ya county, alafu kuna sheria ya bunge. Kama hii niko naye sasa. Hiyo ndio maana tulipewa hii sheria, ndio sasa tuendeshe penye tunaenda Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu kipengele ngao bado naendelea kutafuta inasema wasi lazima utaje kipengele namba kulingana na kipengele hata namba 80 inasema wasi. Wakati unaleta hoja ya nidhamu lazima utaje kipengele. Kipengele namba 80 inasema hivyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia ukiangalia hata ukienda kwa kanisa kuna Biblia Mheshimiwa Spika. Na hiyo ndio nafanya, bila Biblia hakuna kanisa Mheshimiwa Spika. Sasa tukiendesha hii bunge bila sheria Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa ni hasara kwa sababu sheria inasema Mheshimiwa Spika.
So I'm happy, Honorable Fred, you say that you're still going through the standing order. I'm sure if you go through the standing order, you'll find Gideon has not offended any clause. You're very right. When it comes to debating, when it comes to moving, you have to adhere to the standing order procedure. Let me give, for example, when it comes to a motion, the order that it appears on the order paper, that has been adhered to, because the standing order demands the order to be in the way they appear, from administration of oath all the way to the motion. Secondly, when it comes to motion, the standing order demands from us to move. It must be seconded. There must be a notice of motion. All those have been complied. So as far as I'm concerned, so far so good. I'm not seeing any form of non-adherence to the standing order. But I'll still challenge you to go further to the standing order, and you'll not find any offense with the nature the motion has been presented. So, honorable members, your commentary. I welcome. Honorable Mengech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Gideon, for this motion. As much as I support this motion, Honorable Speaker, we have, I believe we have bigger issues in our towns than the colors that Honorable Gideon is raising. I remember a few months ago, Honorable Speaker, I brought a statement here seeking from the same department why Kapsabet town is the way it is, Honorable Speaker. For the last 3 days, for those who have been in this town, you have realized that there's a lot of congestion. In the next 5 years, traffic jam from Jebarbar will be uncontrollable. Honorable Speaker, planning is what we need. The roads in Kapsabet are so narrow. We have no sewage system. Yesterday, I crossed over to the lower side of the main road, and the garages, there's a tea shed, and so many other things which need prioritization. As much as I support what Honorable Gideon calls color identity in our towns, I believe it should come in this policy, the whole physical planning of the town. And the other issue in Kapsabet town, which I've been asking myself, if you move from, I talked to Honorable Fred, I had a function at Joma Resort, moving from Toyoi building where Aga Khan Hospital is located to the mayor. Honorable Fred, that within 2 minutes from the town, there is no road. How is it possible that within 2 minutes from the town, the structures are not worth the plots they sit on? A plot is worth tens of millions, and the structure is worth 20,000 shillings. How is that possible, Honorable Speaker? How is that possible in a city, in Kapsabet? We need to address such matters. So I support this motion, but it should come within the whole structure of planning the town. We need a whole policy framework that addresses all these issues.
Honorable Mengech, as you address the House, I thought this House has previously considered the municipal charter. Did it not have anything to do with fiscal plans? What became of that? When we were passing the municipal charter, Was there anything touching on fiscal plan? Because we seem not to have a track, and once approved, it ends there. Secondly, the county, in the last 2 budgets, we have apportioned money for spatial plan. What became of the same? Last I checked, Honorable Elfas, that is your committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You have touched where actually it pinches me. I want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity. I want to address this issue that honorable members, as the Speaker has said that we passed a bill which actually contained a lot in terms with fiscal planning, the structures in the town. I'm sorry to say that 4 days or 5 days ago when we were in Mombasa, what actually took us there was actually an issue where all members would have been disseminated with information on what is to take place in matters to do with our urban planning and the KUSP program. But it is quite unfortunate that it's only 2 of us who were present when the real issue actually was being tabled in Mombasa. I'm sorry to say that, because we had all the facilitators who were dealing with Kapsabet in terms of fiscal planning, what is needed, how the structure has to be laid out, what are the policies guiding, who are the implementers. But now, you are not there. It's only Fred and Honorable Chepkwony, our Secretary General, who were present in the House, and me. So these are some of the issues actually which it arises because we don't have the information. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry to say that, but I want to say that
Point of information.
Honorable Gideon.
I want to inform the Honorable Chair that stepping out of the room for training for 5 minutes doesn't mean we were not present in that particular session. It is a wrong assumption. We were there for 5 days. How did it happen that it's only 5 minutes that the whole aspects of planning, physical planning of the entire town were discussed? He should be responding to us as to why 2 years or 1.5 years down the line, we passed a municipal charter for Kapsabet town. There is nothing that has happened within Kapsabet town. I'm not talking of the theory of fiscal planning. We all know the theory of fiscal planning, but what has happened on the ground, as Honorable Mengej is asking.
Honorable Mengej, proceed. I wouldn't want to open the debate there. It was just a point of information.
Kujulishaji Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kujulisha waheshimiwa kwamba yale wanaongea ni uongo mtupu, kwa sababu wanasema hakuna kitu imefanyika. Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia tumejenga kiwanja stadium hapa, tumejenga ofisi ya gavana, mambo mengi tumefanya Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, sijamalizia Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia ile barabara waheshimiwa wanapitia, tuliweka lami, tumeweka kila. Mimi nimekuwa mheshimiwa awali. Kuna mambo mengi tumefanya, tumeweka lami, tumefanya nini? Yale mimi lami imewekwa Mheshimiwa.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mengej, what is it?
It's unfortunate that Honorable Fred is out of order in the sense that he's addressing issues outside the physical planning of the town. The stadium is not part of the planning. Those are just mega infrastructural projects in Kapsabet. We are talking about planning of the town for the next 50 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. That's what we are talking about. So without wasting my time, Honorable Speaker, I support this motion.
Honorable Fred, you are standing on a point of information. Can you finish on that so that Honorable Mengej can finish?
Mheshimiwa Spika, unajua yale mambo sijui naongeanga Kiswahili na kuanga ngumu ama ni ile fake. Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, hata stadium inapangwa. Ama nimeongea tofauti. Physical planning na mpangilio tofauti ni nini? Hii stadium ya county imepangwa penye inawekwa. Town imepangwa penye inawekwa. Kampuni itaweka mahali tumepanga tayari. Na hii kitu tumepanga wakati ya ile serikali iliyopita. Ndio ningependa kujulisha pia kwamba ukianzia stadium kwenda mpaka showground hiyo lami tuliweka. Unajua hao walikuja juzi hawaelewi ilifanyika namna gani. Kuna kazi tulifanya hapa yote tulifanya wakati ile nyingine. Ndio nawaambia kuna yale mambo mnaongea muongee kama mnajua. Si ati mnaongea ile vitu hamjui.
Honorable Fred,
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Fred, that is in order. Elfas, would I allow me to let Honorable Mengej finish? Then you'll substantively, when you're making comments, address the same. Honorable Mengej, finish.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. As I finish, let me appreciate the chair for administration committee and request him that we need a serious meeting with stakeholders in order to address all the issues that we have raised. We no longer need the paperwork. I know Kenyans are very good in blueprints, like Vision 2030 and the rest, which are very beautiful. I've gone through the municipal charter. It is beautiful in words. Now we want the reality. Money, the 177 million has been lying in the account and no action has taken place. The sewage system has not been done. While Honorable Fred here is talking about the physical planning of the stadium. Where is the stadium? It's not proceeding. It has stalled. Honorable Elfas, we need a serious meeting between the county assembly, the managers of the municipality, the department. We need to talk about implementing some of these issues. You've seen in Mombasa, it has worked very well. The blue and white has worked very well. Every building has been painted white and blue and it has worked. Mombasa looks better. As I walked in Mombasa 2 years ago, the city was rusted because of the nature of the city. It was so ugly. So as we come back to this issue of the motion, let's now document it as part of the planning of the town. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Fred, I presume now you are contributing to the
Yes.
motion. Proceed.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Unajua yale mambo nimesikia Mheshimiwa Spika, baada imeletwa hapa leo, kwa sababu wakisema kuna rangi itapakwa town line na line hii, huwa mimi nashangaa kwa sababu kuna makampuni mingi. Tuko na kampuni ya Safaricom wako na rangi yao, tuko na kampuni ya Airtel wako na rangi yao. Mheshimiwa Spika, utabadilisha namna gani na tayari wako na idhini ya serikali ya kwamba rangi yao ni nyeupe, rangi yao ni aina hii? Mimi naweza fungua hata baa hapa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kama kampuni ya Tusker watakuja kupaka rangi kwa nyumba yangu, sheria gani utatumia Mheshimiwa Spika? Unajua lazima tuelewane. Tuangalie yale inawezekana na yale haiwezekani. Kwa sababu ukiangalia hapa Kapsabet Mheshimiwa Spika, utakuta kampuni fulani imekuja kuwapatia pesa kuwapakia rangi nyumba. Wewe ukisema waweke rangi fulani, kama Safaricom wameambia kupakia nyumba, wewe unakuja na rangi yako ati nyeupe na watakataa. Tuangalie vile tutaangalia, kwa sababu tumejaribu yale mambo yote tunafanya leo, tumejaribu, imekuwa ngumu. Kwa sababu utasikia Safaricom wameenda kotini, utasikia kuna sport pesa tena wako na rangi yao, hakuna vile utamkatasha. Ndio unaona biashara imewekwa soko huru. Unafanya vile unataka, hata ukitaka kupaka rangi nyeusi, rangi nyeupe, hiyo ni biashara yako. Na hiyo ndio nikapenda kuambia imejengwa. Hakuna vile utabadilisha. Hiyo ndio maana ulisikia Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais akisema twende tutafute shamba ingine, tujenge town nyingine, kwa sababu hakuna vile utabadilisha. Tayari watu wamejenga, barabara imewekwa na hakuna vile itawezekana. Na najua Mheshimiwa wa Nandi ni jambo muhimu amefikiria kwa yale nyumba tunajenga sasa. Kwa ile serikali itajenga, tuko na manyumba hapa, kuna ingine tutajengwa Nandi. Tungeweka sheria kama hiyo, tuseme ile mpya itakuja, sheria itakuwa hivi na hivi. Ukitaka kuweka mambo yako Safaricom, kwenda weka ile town mzee ya samani. Na nafikiri hiyo ndio itakuwa inasaidia. Nimeunga mkono, ningependa kuambia Mheshimiwa wa Nandi aanze kufikiria mambo mengi kama hii. Aanze kufikiria mambo kama hii mengi. Lakini kulingana na ile town mzee najua haitafanya kazi. Asante sana Mheshimiwa.
Honorable Fred, I think it's good for the House to be informed that once you set a policy, nothing stops you. The concern you are raising about it doesn't mean when we schedule and say we want blue white, it means they cannot advertise. They can advertise and the county still has revenue. In Mombasa, despite the blue white, they still have to do now billboards and they can do paperwork instead of paint. The painting was because most of the houses could not do the painting. But if you come today and say, Kapsabet, you are doing blue white, does it mean Safaricom cannot advertise? They can advertise. They can still do their billboards. They can even still do paper banners and they'll still work. So I don't think it stops. Don't get scared that it will stop them from advertising. It doesn't stop them from advertising. And the policy of a county government to be implemented by the municipal board is binding. And you've seen that working. Have you not seen the municipal board working to demolish structures? If indeed it was permanent that it can't be changed, then Honorable Gideon would not be coming here to complain about hawkers' stands being demolished in Nandi Hills. Yourself in Kapsabet, Namgoi, you've been clearing the road reserve because of the municipal board. So you have the ability. I don't think it is difficult for you to change that.
Ujulishaji Mheshimiwa
Honorable
Spika.
Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kukujulisha kwamba ile kamati tulichagua hapa wamekaa chini mara mbili tangu tupitisha hapa Mheshimiwa Spika. Haifanyi kazi. Wale walipomoa manyumba Namgoi ni wale wa Kenya. Hata mpaka sasa Mheshimiwa Spika, nafikiri wewe umetembea kabisa, tumeangalia. Lambi imekwisha. Pesa yote waliweka mahali moja. Kama tungekaa chini, kama tuko na Mheshimiwa Wedne wanasimamia municipality hapa, tuko na ile kamati tulichagua, lakini Mheshimiwa Gavana, Mheshimiwa Waziri na kiranja wa municipality walikaa chini wakasema pesa yote iende kwa soko. Ndio unaona tunapigwa vita sasa hii. Hiyo kama hiyo sheria inasema ya kwamba hiyo bodi iendelee, nafikiri utachunguza, utaona, utusaidie Mheshimiwa Spika. Hiyo ndio ningependa kukujulisha ujue ya kwamba hakuna kitu inaendelea.
Honorable Mengech had given a very good proposal. I think he had said the chair of the committee can be able to now call for the same. And that's why the urban support was there. And I think it falls under your ambit. The two towns, Nandi Hills, Kapsabet, and the committee. Honorable Elfas.
Honorable Speaker, I rise also to contribute on the motion. But before I do that, I want to say that, honorable members, we have a municipal board actually in place, but some of the obstacles actually which the board has been facing was because of the finances. It's recently when we got the donor funding from the KUSP support program, and actually what we received was meant for the year 2017-2018. But because we don't have the laid out structures which warranted actually our county or our municipality to receive the
Hoja habari Mheshimiwa Spika. Ningependa kupata habari kwa Mheshimiwa mwenye anaongea kuhusu municipality, na yeye kulingana na sheria yapatikane ndani, sio mheshimiwa hiyo municipality ndani, kamati yake ni tofauti. Ndio naona nachangaa natoa habari kama nani Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Elfas, can you respond to that?
Mheshimiwa Speaker, actually what Fred is asking, I don't know. I think as I stand, I'm the chairman devolution. We deals with administration, e-government and planning. And administration is where we have municipality actually being governed by my committee, and I'm the chairman. So does it mean that because my word?
Take a seat, Honorable Fred, until he finishes your response, then you can come back. Let him finish, then you can come on a point of order, because he was just answering you so that you can come on the same. Proceed, Elfas.
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the member and to inquire from him if I'm not, if actually my word does not touch within the municipality, does it not warrant me actually to oversee the continuity of the municipality because I'm a member? And given that actually I'm the chairman devolution, where the municipality functions actually is under my implementation and my watch, I think I should be in a better position to respond on matters to do with the municipality and actually what it entails municipality, because that is where my area of jurisdiction falls within. Even though I'm not, I might not be, my word actually might not be falling within municipality, but municipality is my concern. So as I was saying, Mr. Speaker, that actually our municipality actually had not received funding.
Honorable.
Nafikiri kwa lugha mambo ni devolution. Hiyo ni county mzima. Lakini ukiangalia municipality inagusa Mheshimiwa Fred, Mheshimiwa Chama, Mheshimiwa Cynthia na Mheshimiwa Kosarai. Kulingana na ile sheria tulipitisha Mheshimiwa Spika. Ile kamati ulisema tulipitisha, na nafikiri waziri ndio anasimamia tu, lakini
nataka kujulisha bunge hili na Mheshimiwa Fred ya kwamba mambo ya municipality si ya zile ward zinashika Kapsabet na Nandi Hills. Mambo ya municipality ni mambo ya waheshimiwa wote wa Nandi, sababu hii ndio makao makuu ya Nandi. Asifikiria mambo ya municipality ni yake Kapsabet. Mambo ya municipality inaweza kuwa ya kule Tindret, inaweza kuwa mheshimiwa huko Chaptrai anaweza sema mambo ya municipality, sababu mambo ya municipality inaguza sisi wote, sababu hapa Kapsabet ndio makao yetu, watu wa Nandi wote tunakusanyika hapa. Kwa hivyo mambo ya municipality kila mtu ana haki ya kuchangia na kulete mjadala ili naweza kunufaisha municipality ya Kapsabet.
Honorable Fred, take a seat. Take a seat. Take a seat, Honorable Fred, because you need a response. I needed to separate because the bone of contention is to, does Honorable Elfas Cheruiyot, can he speak? And I think Honorable Elfas is talking from a committee point of view. This house has sectoral committees, and each of those sectoral and intergovernmental committees have a very defined jurisdiction and role. For example, if you talk about the devolution committee, it deals with the issue about administration, structure, as well as e-government. The municipalities are part of the administrative structure of the county government. And because of the same, the devolution committee can exercise oversight as a committee, can exercise oversight. And that is why urban planning can fall under their jurisdiction. So because of the same, members of the committee on devolution and intergovernmental have that ability to reinform this house about that. Secondly, the individual honorable members have their primary jurisdiction. Kapsabet ward has Kapsabet town as half of it being within the Kapsabet ward. The other bit falls under Chemundu, for example. The other side may touch on Kiliboni. Now, the honorable members of those wards will have primary jurisdiction. You'll be dealing with the issue just like the way an administrative boundary falls under your jurisdiction. So you'll be commenting as a honorable member. You will have every right, every reason to raise, to give answers, to give queries, and still exercise oversight, because as a honorable member of the county assembly, part of your responsibility is to exercise oversight, but importantly to represent. The committee exercises oversight. So you can see the difference in jurisdiction. Honorable Fred, you will speak as the member for Kapsabet. You will speak on behalf of the segment of the town that falls under your ward. You'll be bringing the issue as their representative, and you can still exercise oversight over the same area. Now, the devolution committee will only come in for purposes of oversight. It can ask questions. It is the one that presented the names for the municipal board for consideration and approval by this house. They're the one that tabled report. Last week, they were the conveners of the urban support program, which touches on urban centers purely on the oversight side. So I don't think there's a dispute. All of you are right in a way. You have your role. The devolution committee has their role. I don't want us to deviate from the substance of the motion, because it seems we have so much issues touching on urban center, especially Kapsabet, and stick to that. Honorable Mengech had proposed a more inclusive process that beyond passage approval of this motion, let it be part of a wider conversation that we started last week. The entire house was involved in the urban support. Just to buttress what Honorable Swadi is saying, each and every member has a responsibility over Kapsabet. So if we can extend that discussion beyond this motion, the better. We cannot be able to prosecute all those issues here. It will be back and forth. As a honorable member, you'll be the one, you can speak authoritative member here. Honorable Robert Kirwa will stand and speak authoritatively of the lower side. For example, you'll say that all the money was put on one side. Possibly it favors him. He will tell you it is right because it is his ward. We will not finish that discussion. The proposal by Honorable Mengech will form the best, where the devolution committee, the honorable members involved for those respective wards, and the entire house generally pick up that issue on physical planning, on matters town planning, and at the same time the issue of funding. Here we have the ADP that will be coming up. I'm sure part of that money will be there. We have the Committee on Trade and Investment. It also still touches on the same urban centers. So we cannot finish that conversation. I want to restrict the debate to be purely on the motion at hand. Whether you support or you don't, you can add something related to it, but let's not deviate, because we cannot finish that conversation. So Honorable Fred, I think we have settled the matter.
Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Yes.
Unajua tukienda laini yenye unasema Mheshimiwa Speaker, mswada itakuwa ni hasara, kwa sababu kuna yale maswali mheshimiwa fulani ameuliza. Kuna yale maswali nafasi tuulize. Tukienda kwa hiyo laini Mheshimiwa Speaker, utakuwa unaharibu mswada, kwa sababu sheria inaniruhusu hata mtega 20 niongee juu ya mswada Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na tena unajua ukitumia sheria kama hiyo utakuwa unapendua waheshimiwa waende kwa laini yenye unataka. Na bunge iko na wasi kwa kila mtu. Unaongea bora usiende nje ya hiyo mswada Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na yangu nilikuwa nimeuliza maswali. Na sheria kabla hatujapitisha municipality Mheshimiwa Speaker. Hiyo kamati ilikuwa. Baada ya kupitishwa hata juzi nimekuwa kwa sababu Karanja wao wameanza kukataa taki yeye County administrator amesema anzie Kilibwani huko mwisho. Ndio nashangaa kamati ya devolution, kunajua kulingana, wewe unajua sheria. Ile sheria tulipitisha hiyo haikuwa ndani, na niko naye nitalete. Sasa yeye anakuja kulingana na nani? Anauliza maswali kama nani? Ndio nimeuliza. Yeye anakuja kutoa maswali kama nani? Ule mtu tunamuita hapa ni ule kiranja wa devolution, na hata waziri, hata sio mwenyewe haruhusi kuingia kulingana na sheria. Juzi anaenda kutengeneza sheria ya kurekebisha hao wakubaliwa waingie ndani. Hawako kwa hiyo sheria ndani. Waziri mwenyewe hayuko kwa ndani hapo ndani, sio mwenyewe hayuko, hata kiranja wetu wa devolution hayuko ndani. Ndio alikuwa anauliza kulingana na sheria, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kama sheria imevunjwa, tutafanya namna gani, Mheshimiwa Speaker?
Honorable Fred, your issue is very substantive. If you look at the issues you've raised, they are very substantive. One, it touches on the municipal board. That's a whole issue on itself. It touches on their jurisdiction, it touches on their composition, and it touches on their work, whether they are doing work. Now, that is a very substantive matter that cannot be discussed just under this. You will be restraining yourself if you just sneak it inside here. It's a very substantive motion that requires substantive response. You have to get timely response. You've also even raised a question touching on Committee of Devolution. Honorable Elfas was not subject to question. I would prefer it to come substantively. And I remember even Honorable Mengech raised the same issue. And that's why I asked him, were you aware of the fiscal planning? For us not to lose track of the conversation. Those substantive issues, in fact, as you say, we may lose those conversations if we just discuss it here, yet it is not on paper. What is on paper is a very specific motion requiring a specific resolution. But beyond that, the issues you've raised are very substantive. In fact, I remember while we were in Mombasa, same question has always been raised about the municipal board. If you look at the WhatsApp conversation of residents of Kapsabet, they have been raising the same issue, complaining about whether the board is functioning, whether it's moribund. You can see the issues coming up. You even see the citizens asking, what is the relation between the water services, the Kenawasco versus the board? How do they coordinate? How do they partner? How does the board influence the well-being of the town? Now, those are substantive issues. I don't think you will successfully get answers under this motion, because Elfas was just contributing. You challenged him why would he speak about the board, and yet you feel his committee does not have much. So can we have that discussion independently of this one? This one has only opened our eyes and has opened up the issues that we cannot ignore, touching on municipality, touching on the board, but it doesn't in any way get any headway unless we first discuss this motion. It can come in form of a motion, it can come in form of a statement, and the issues you're raising are very legitimate. So I would ask Honorable Elfas to purely contribute, touching on the motion, and then the others can come substantively. Honorable Elfas, kindly finish your contribution.
Speaker, I want to say once again, thank you for this opportunity. I want to inform members, Mr. Speaker, that we have now activities actually which will be rolled out in the next 2 weeks within our municipality. That is as per the information I have as part of the planning, part of the Committee on Devolution. We received, our department received 177 million, which we passed. And I want to say what Honorable Gideon actually has
Honorable
brought in,
Fred,
what Gideon has brought in.
Honorable Elfas, take a seat until the point of order is.
Ningependa kupata habari kwa mheshimiwa mwenye anaongea kama anajibu kulingana na ile hoja umetoa.
Honorable Elfas, as I said, stick to the motion.
Honorable Speaker,
Your matter
I want
will
to say,
elicit different
I want to congratulate Honorable Gideon for coming up with such a very constructive motion. This one actually purely touches on all of us actually who are concerned with our municipality headquarters. I want to say that I support the motion, and as Honorable Menkage has correctly said that actually we need to actually scrutinize more on our municipality headquarters apart from only painting. I also on the same line that actually we need to work closely to see that actually our municipality gets the facility that will actually attract not only foreign investors, but actually our own local investors who are interested actually in the investing in Kapsabet will actually consider some of the amenities like the general cleanliness of our town actually, which actually is under ISO. I want to say that painting, as correctly put by Honorable Gideon, is an attractive feature. It actually brands our town. And as correctly said, we saw Mombasa actually the way it has been painted. It was beautiful. Everybody actually was saying, now look at it. So I support. It's only that actually time will come when we will choose the correct colors actually which will suit most of our residents. I want to say I support it, and I want to say thank you, Honorable Gideon.
Honorable Pius Singoya.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kunipatia nafasi kuchangia ile hoja. Nafikiri Bwana Spika, kulingana vile wenzetu waheshimiwa wameongea kuhusu mambo ya town planning ama mambo ya kubadilisha rangi katika hii town. Nafikiri tangu mbeleni shida ambayo ilitokea katika Nandi, unajua wale watu ambao walifanya mambo ya ya plan ilikuwa watu ambao masomo yao yalikuwa chini, kwa sababu tunakumbuka mzee mmoja alikuwa anaitwa Jamaldin na mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Sitiene. Ilikuwa watu ambao watu wa public ambao masomo yao yalikuwa chini, si kama walikuwa hajaenda juu sana. Ndio naona mambo ya town planning yao iko chini. Nafikiri vile sasa municipality imejisimamia, nafikiri itakuwa bora vile tunajaribu sasa kuongelea katika hii town. Najua mbeleni tulikuwa na nini municipality, waheshimiwa ambao walikuwa kwa municipality na wale wengine walikuwa wa county council, tulikuwa tukiongea, anasema kwamba jogoo ya huko Risabuni hawezi wika town. Walikuwa nataka wenyewe wajitawale katika hii area. Kama vile Fred sasa anaongea, anasema town yake. Lakini vile tulikuwa Mombasa juzi, tuliambia kwamba town ni ya Nandi msema na sisi wote vile Swadi ameongea. Na tunajua town yetu hii si ya town ya mtu mmoja. Tunajua kweli kuna mheshimiwa ambaye anawakilisha area, lakini tunajadiliana moja tukiwa moja katika Nandi. Kitu kilioko ni ya kwamba mimi najua kama mambo ya rangi na watu wa ujenzi, unajua ujenzi ilikuwa chini sana katika hii town yetu. Wengine walikuwa naenda kucheka bali ya Wasingishu na mali pengine. Ndio tulikutana na mzee mmoja alikuwa anaitwa Mbwere, unajua alikuwa anajenga katika Western huko. Akatuambia habari ya Nandi Modern mjengi. Tukamwambia sisi ni watu wa county council, hatuhusiki na town. Akasema kwa nini? Nyinyi ni watu wa Nandi, lazima muangalie mambo ya town vile vile, kwa sababu mko katika county council. Na kweli tunakaona ni kweli, kwa sababu Nandi ni yetu. Lakini mpaka saa hii jambo naonekana bado linafinyiliwa, lakini tunataka tupanue tuwe Nandi, hii town yetu ni sisi wote, ndio tuone maendeleo iendelee mbele kama town zingine. Nafikiri Bwana Spika, nafikiri sina mambo mengi. Ijapokuwa tu mimi najua tukiweka kubadilisha rangi au nini, mimi najua itakuwa gharama kwa wafanyabiashara wetu, lakini kama mambo inaendelea juu, lazima gharama nayo iko juu. Lakini bure si bingi, mimi naunga mkono sana.
Honorable Bwambok.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I too also support the motion brought by Honorable Koech, touching the uniqueness that can be applied in certain urban areas like Kapsabet. So I disputed with what Honorable Fred is trying to own the town as if it is its own, because you know when the town grows, then it touches the whole Nandi. We are talking as a Nandi County Assembly and also Nandi Kapsabet town, which has been upgraded to an urban area. So in a kind request, Honorable Speaker, I know when a policy has been approved and can be forwarded to any department, it has got to abide by. And we are not interested with the Safaricom, with the Equitel, and the others, which I know they can brand their billboards, but not the pains of the structures that have come up in our town. However, it can be a challenge because even having gone even through other city centers like Nairobi, they have not reached even into a certain conclusion yet. Those ones have already moved into a city center. So as for us, I do support, because however still undeveloped as we are, but if we can request something that can move our urban area like Kapsabet into a unique, and even my area which I come, which is Mosoriot, So we have got to improve so that whenever people are moving from to Eldoret to anywhere, they can say you can know Mosoriot as per this kind of pain. So for Mombasa, I know it is attractive because the color is more attractive. Many of us have gone there and have planned, such that we bring also certain motions which can help our county. So I too support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sanga.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, Honorable Speaker. For me, I wish the colors should come last. We should first do away with all the structures in this town. Some structures were actually constructed long time when this town was still a shopping center. They are in a very pathetic conditions, and I would wish that such should be done away with first before talking about colors. And again, I'm worried as also an investor. There are some companies which are branded with specific colors. We might discourage them in this town to invest because they have specific brands. For instance, we have Safaricom branded houses. We have Sedai Africa branded houses. Maybe Pata, they have specific brands of colors. I don't know, we should think about it because it might affect their businesses also. And also we need to improve the issues of roadworks, as he had said, with the beautification of this town. Then after all doing all those, we can now consider colors. Thank you.
Honorable Kirongo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would wish to support the motion. Mr. Speaker, before we think of other companies, we must think of our county. Mr. Speaker, I think before we were born, there were other companies. So we are talking of our county, Mr. Speaker. Let it remain in history that this county assembly actually passed such a motion that indeed we beautify our county. Mr. Speaker, it will not be a challenge. These investors can be given a grace period of even 1 year. You know, Mr. Speaker, one cannot stay in a house for a very long time without painting. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it will be in order. And you know, these people will be called and be given public participation. They can suggest those colors. We agree that there are some houses, there are some buildings that are coming. But of course, we have the old ones that we need to paint. Mr. Speaker, I've heard most of the members talking of Mombasa, which is the best. Always, Mr. Speaker, we will emulate the best. You talk of Nairobi, we cannot wait for Nairobi. We look for the best, and this is the brilliant. These are some of the brilliant ideas, Mr. Speaker, that as a county assembly, let us embrace, and we do it. We give it time. As time goes by, Mr. Speaker, this county will look beautiful. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support. Thank you.
Honorable members, judging by the Honorable Swadi, you can be the last presenter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I just stand to support the motion of Honorable Gideon, which is a part of beautification of our Kapsabet town, which is the face of Nandi County. But also supporting this motion, I'll go by the Honorable Mengechi's way, that Kapsabet town, it is just like a house which has only one door. It does not have another door for exit. It is just if you block Chabarbari or Kapsasuri, then you cannot enter in the town. So it is very important also to consider when we are doing beautification of this town or painting of the town, we should also consider the entry and the exit, another entry and exit of this town, Mr. Speaker, because the town has got only one entry and one exit, which is very dangerous to the big town like Kapsabet town. So I support this motion, but we should consider other issues like that a plan for the town. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Rebo Gideon, right of response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to thank the honorable members for their brilliant contribution. This was a thought, and I can see that it has elicited a lot of debate, and I think going forward during the policy implementation upon adoption of this motion, we'll have better ideas to incorporate in this particular motion on mapping and painting guidelines, as well as the plan for our town. So I accept the sentiments by all honorable members. I have heard their contribution, and I think this motion came at the right time, and it will give us a platform for us to engage with the executive to be able to map out our towns for planning. We are talking of towns now, but we know that there are several small centers that are coming up. And if we don't plan it at the smallest unit, going forward, we will be having slums, even up to the remote areas. We are talking of Kapsabet, Nandi Hills, we have Baraton, we have Mosoriot, we have even Kapsasur down here. We have the rest of the towns. We are calling them towns, considering our county. There might be centers to some other individuals, but these are places we need to develop and map in a proper way to present our county in a good picture. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, judging by the mood, I therefore wish to put a question on the motion on mapping and painting guidelines as moved by Honorable Gideon Koech, that the House resolves that the executive map and issue painting guidelines to be observed by town building owners, and in order to have identity in the towns consistent with urban building look and presentation that shall portray diversity and nature in the county. Will as many as of a similar opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a country opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, adjournment.
The House adjourn until the next session.